I say it all the time. There's two people in Phoenix. There's two types. There's those who have had a car accident, and those are going to have a car accident. And you're one of the two if you've got a driver's license or a car. So today we've brought in John Fox and Chris Bowser. I hope I said that right, Chris. Yes, you're nodding yes. that I've done that right, from New Image Paint and Body, and we're happy to have you guys here as one of the bumper-to-bumper preferred auto body shop guys. Welcome.
Hey, thank you.
We were talking just before the show, and John said he started in the auto body business in 1978. I love to make people feel old, so I said, I think I was born in 1977.
I didn't hear that, because I'm going deaf.
I don't think it makes him feel old. It makes him feel experienced, Dave. It's experience, right?
Big time experience. I mean, that's 43 years?
Yes.
43 years since he, got in the auto body business.
33.
33?
I'm 43 and I was born in 70.
Okay, right. 33 years. Either
way.
So
we're going to have a mathematics refresher course today, too.
Well, it's Auto Body Shop Day because I figured we needed to have one since Matt hit my car parked in the Denny's parking lot. Remember that?
I did,
He can't drive. If you see a white Toyota Tundra come in the parking lot, grab your children.
My brand new truck. The first day I owned it, I hit Dave's car in the light pole.
Well, when we came in, asked Chris and John, auto body. What do you want to talk about at auto body? And you guys said the process. People don't know what to do when they get in a car accident. So what should they be thinking? The first thing happens, get in a car accident, stuck on the side of the road, cop shows up. You and the other people are debating what really happened. Maybe, I don't know. What is the process of getting your car fixed? Because you need to still get to work. You're going to need a rental car. All those things are going to need to happen, and you're going to have to call your insurance, which you don't want to do. What does that phone call to your insurance company look like?
Well, the first thing you have to do is take pictures. Everybody has a smartphone now with a camera on it. Got to take pictures so that everybody has proof of what happened, what got damaged. Second thing I would do, if the car's drivable, you can go ahead and call your insurance company. If it's not, then you need to call a tow company to come get the vehicle, because you don't want the city to tow the vehicle if you're capable of calling someone to tow it for you.
That's a good point. Matt was bringing that up before the show. Skip the city towing it. Be in charge of where the car goes. And you should know a body shop before you get in an accident. That's the whole point of the show here, is have a relationship with a body shop. And if you don't have one, you should have already been to bumpertobumperradio.com to have a body shop. And you're going to find New Image Paint and Body, who's in Tempe. But you can say, just tow it straight there. And what John's saying about don't let the city tow it, it's going to go to some impound yard. And it's going to get stuck there, and it's just going to add days to the process.
Right. And I don't know that you necessarily need to call your own tow truck, because those tow trucks that come out are contracted by the city, and their whole shtick, the whole thing they want to do, where their business model, they want to get that car back to their yard, where they get to charge storage, they get to charge you to re-tow the car. And sometimes it's very difficult. I oftentimes feel like the car is a hostage. And you've got to fight to get your car out. They want documentation. You got to dot the I's and cross the T's, and it makes it very difficult at times. But that city tow truck will still, if you're of able body, you're not injured, you can say, hey, here's where I want to go. Take it to New Image. New Image Paint Body, when the car shows up, you'll accept it, write the check, cover the bill.
Absolutely. And what we tell people, too, is that, excuse me, what we tell people, too, is you can have it towed right to our body shop. Just, call us. We'll have our tow truck come and get the vehicle and bring it right to our body shop. Doesn't matter, day or night, we'll have a tow truck come out and pick it up. So we have that available to us, to all of our customers. It just makes it easier that way. Then they don't have to scramble around and try to figure out who's going to tow the vehicle. We have someone on call 24/7.
Mm-hmm. Well, you made a good point, because take pictures, and you do got an iPhone, and that's a great thing to do. My wife was driving our Toyota Camry. She's driving out of the neighborhood, and this lady backed up in front of her. Well, the lady we were talking and waiting for the police to show up and everything. The story completely changed. And when it was all said and done, the pictures that I took on my iPhone that I sent to my insurance company went through arbitration. They had something to look at. And the arbitration said, that lady's 90% at fault. They give her the token 10%. I guess they do that just for whatever reason they do that. But taking those pictures saved a lot of money, because my deductible's like $1,000. $1,000 plus I would have a ding on my insurance. So that's great advice. Use your iPhone, take some pictures, and then But I have had issues where I've, accidents in the past where I'm calling the insurance company, even if it's mine. So I call USAA, say, hey, listen, I got in a car accident. they're going to tell me, they're going to say, well, hey, you're right down the street from so-and-so auto body, and you guys refer to that as a DRP, direct repair facility, or preferred repair facility. How does that work out? You know, is that where these people have to go to get the car fixed? So if I call USAA, which is my insurance, they're going to give me the name of the auto body shop right down the street that they're contracted with. And
yeah,
you can give us some more details on that.
I mean, the customer has the choice to go wherever they want. They can take that recommendation if they want, but we always recommend that they, come to us, of course. But
right.
The customer has the right. No matter what the insurance company says, they cannot force you to go to a preferred shop. Most of our customers are repeat customers that we've had for 25 plus years, and they know the process. Unfortunately, they've been through the process before.
I was going to say you train them well to wreck their car often, right?
Exactly. So I think that's the main message we like to get out to friends and customers is you can take it anywhere you want, and there is a difference between that process.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with preferred auto body shops or what we call direct repair facilities, DRPs. It's just that if you go to a shop, you want them working for you, not for your insurance company. So unfortunately, there's kind of a breakdown fundamentally. If they're contracted with the body shop, they have to say, hey, we're going to be willing to use used parts. Where you guys aren't contracted necessarily with an insurance company, so your main customer right there is the customer. So they bring the car to you. That's who you're working for. You're not working for the insurance company, because if you decide, if you're a DRP and you said, you know what, I just don't want to fix this car this way, and you break that contract, well, you're not going to get any work from them next month.
Yeah, they swing a big checkbook, and they can really, that insurance company can really influence the way a body shop could operate. And I always say that the insurance companies, well, I'll back up just 1 second. If in extreme cases it's called steering and it's illegal, they just can't do it. It's against the law. They can suggest and all that, but the ultimate responsibility of the insurance company is to make you whole. It doesn't matter how you're made whole or where you're made whole. And you guys will always advocate for the insurance company. Advocate for the consumer. And you don't have any DRP contracts, and I think that's very unique in the body shop world.
Well, and that is what makes us unique, is the fact that we are a true independent, and the customer comes first, even though the insurance company is paying the bill. And we fight for everything we believe needs to be replaced or repaired on the vehicle, whereas, and not to slight DRPs because they fit their niche in the industry, but they have to do what the insurance company says. We don't. We fight for the customer first. And the customer needs to be knowledgeable, though, too.
Well, in the 33 years that you've been doing this, have you ever had an insurance company make a recommendation for repair that wasn't very good?
Gee, would you like to know what time yesterday?
Right. So it's a regular thing. So they certainly got to get the car fixed for you because they paid insurance. They don't want to overpay, but at the same time, it's in their best interest to keep the repair bill down as much as possible, because if they can save a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there across all the vehicles across the United States that they're fixing, it makes a big deal. So that's where it's nice to fundamentally have a separate, someone who's not necessarily working for the insurance company, but they're independent. And it's pretty cool. And not to say that DRPs, like you said, are necessarily a bad thing. There's plenty of people that have integrity and morals that aren't going to do a bad job for you just because someone tells them to. They're going to work at it.
Right. Well, I mean, as we all know, if you've had one, a car accident is stressful. So the time, you say we have to have a relationship with a shop. You do. And I don't necessarily want to have a relationship with a body shop. I don't want to know you guys on a first-name basis.
Oh, come on.
But you should be prepared. So that's why I tell people, go to bumpertobumperradio.com, find one of the body shops that's maybe in the neighborhood of where you work or where you live, and write down that phone number and put it with your insurance card. And you're prepared. It's one less step of eliminate some of the anxiety. And much like a transmission shop, Dave, a body shop, you don't just shop for furniture for your house in your neighborhood. It's okay to drive 10 or 15 or 20 miles to when you have to go pick up your car. You guys will help with the rental car. Don't worry about what the tow bill costs necessarily. The insurance is going to take care of it. It's worth the drive to go to the shop and be prepared to go there when you need it.
And we've got a text from Frank in Chandler. It says, my dad has a 2006 Scion XB. Front hood has a dent Is that expensive? Have you guys ever had that phone call at your shop?
Oh, sure. We have those phone calls every single day.
All right, let's go with this one.
Yeah. Basically, it's one of those cases where we have to see the vehicle in order to quote something. It could be as simple as something that a paintless dent repair technician could take care of, and that would be a rather inexpensive repair. Could be something where we might have to do the repair and then repaint the hood, which is going to be a little more expensive, but...
I mean, I guess you could give people ranges, but I mean that could be so far off. But paintless dent repair, I mean that's a fairly minor.
Oh yes,
fairly minor thing.
We're looking at probably 50 to maybe 100.
So I should get that dent that Matt fixed into my car.
Oh, no, that one we need to do the whole car.
The statute of limitations is over on that, Dave. It's not going to work.
It is the one dent on my car, and you know I don't buy new cars often, but I bought one new car, and he couldn't wait to dent it.
I didn't dent it. Come on now. Well, maybe I did. I don't know. I didn't get out and look.
Well, that brings up, I mean, the estimates. So if this guy wanted to roll down to, you know, New Image, Paint and Auto Body in Tempe, and have you guys look at it, are you guys going to be offended if he doesn't buy it from you?
Oh, absolutely not. We always just try to help the customer, educate them. You know, what's the best option for them? If we can do the work, we love to do the work. If not, then, you know, we try to help them to decide what process they want to go to next.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's the advice the advice is free. So we love to give free advice. We like to talk. So, you know, bring it down. We're car guys. We like to talk about cars. And if you have a question, sometimes it's overwhelming to the consumer. And, you know, for us, our guys, it's you know, piece of cake.
Well, and that's the thing. You don't have to have a crash to go see the body shop. And you know, the first dent on your car always hurts. Then the second one you care less. Maybe the third one, and then the kid scrapes it with a bicycle handle bars or something. I think you should get those things fixed occasionally, because then all of a sudden you've got this new car that just starts...
Well, we say it all the time on this show. You know, we see a 10-year car in our shop, and it's a complete jalopy. You know, we see the next. This could be a 5-year-old car, and it's a complete jalopy because they just don't take care of it. You don't want to get behind the curve on your car. So if you get a dent like Matt put in my Honda Element, go get it fixed for sure. Well, up first this segment, we're going to take Travis in Gilbert on a 2003 Honda CR-V. Go ahead, Travis. You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Got a question. I've got a new vehicle I'm looking at getting. It is the 2003 Honda CR-V. Do you have a shop that is very good at diagnosing a car completely through, wiring and everything? The gentleman stated that there may have been rats got up into the engine, and I'm concerned about that.
Is there some kind of symptom related to that? Is he having any continuous problems with the car, or what's happening that makes you think that happened?
Opened up the engine compartment, and there's debris from rats in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, the vehicle's been sitting. It was from a deceased family member, and it's been sitting. And I was just wondering, I'd like to take it into a shop and have them do a complete overlook on everything, and to someone that's just not going to do a outside look. It's really going to go thorough through it.
Yeah, right. I think on a pre-purchase inspection like you're talking about, this is not a free inspection. You know, we were just talking about free advice, and that happens in a parking lot and at a desk. But when it comes to checking out a vehicle and really digging a little deeper than what I would call a cursory inspection, now we kind of looked at it, looks good, you know, or doesn't look good. You want somebody to pull tires off this thing. You want somebody to pull the air filter out of this thing. You want somebody, you know, looking and smelling under the valve cover to see if there's any sort of problems. You know, looking at, I mean, really, it should be a paid-for thing, and I think that really keeps everyone's priorities in line. If someone's paying me to check out their car, now I feel obligated to do a really good job. You know, if it's just free, you know, I'm a little less obligated to get in there real deep and do it. So that may be something that the shop charges $40 for, maybe something they charge $100 for. But this is a huge investment next to buying your house. Your car is a huge investment, so don't, you know, you want to check it out a little bit before you marry it.
Right, and I think, well, the answer to the question is, I don't think you need an electrical specialist for that car. That's the 2003 Honda is a common car, and take it in for that pre-purchase inspection is what we call it in our shop. Look it over. Now, if there's any particular problem, then you start to teeter into a diagnostic issue if there is a problem. But go ahead, Dave.
Well, I think it's a great topic for auto body. You know, people are worried about a car that's been in a wreck before they purchased it. Is that not a concern? And then also, when you pick a good body shop, you know, you can go to any old body shop. And Chris, you were talking a lot about certified body people versus non-certified body people. we can all kind of paint it up and stick it back on, but is it going to be right? Are you going to have problems when you go to sell that car later? And we did a pre-purchase inspection here recently where we're looking at it and we're like, man, this thing has got weird body damage. And we kind of said, stay away from it. But talking about the quality of repair, maybe that's something you guys can talk about, getting a quality repair so you don't get the diminished value when you go to sell the car down the road.
Right. And we do that, often for customers. They want to buy a car, they bring it in. We don't charge for that. We'll look over the car for free. If we're taking fenders off or something more in depth, then we're going to have to charge for that. But typically, we'll take a look at it, give our opinion on the car, and let you know if it's a safe car to buy. And we've had cars come in that are unsafe to drive, and they should not be driven without being properly repaired. And speaking of certifications, John and I bought the business last January. It's been in Tempe for 25 years. Has a great reputation. All of the employees stayed on board with us, so we have a lot of tenure in our staff, and we took last year to recertify our shop as an iCar Gold. In the mechanic industry, ASE is if you agree on that, the certification standard. In the body shop world, it's iCar, and we're an iCar Gold class, and all of our techs are platinum certified.
Right. Blah.
Still thinking about the dent you put in my car? Yeah, and how are you going to pay me for that?
I just can't get over it, Dave. I have to watch my back, or if you're going to start trying to pickpocket my wallet, all of a sudden you're going to send it down to New Image. But I'm not concerned because I know I get treated right. I guess if I've got to pay your bill.
Since he's paying my bill, just throw an extra little bit of money on there. I would really appreciate that. We got to get to some patient callers. We're going to go with Amber in Phoenix on a 2007 Mitsubishi Outlander. Go ahead, Amber. You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on today. I'm not sure if you know much about transmissions, but that's what my question is regarding.
Dave is insulted.
We do.
Okay. Because I know that this is one of those goofy belt transmissions, and I just bought the car a little while ago, and it seems to run fine. But every now and then when I'm at a stop and I start to go, it really hesitates, and that kind of worries me. Is that common for these weird belt transmissions, or should I have it looked at?
How many miles is on your Mitsubishi?
About 85,000.
85,000, and I'm not sure what the factory warranty is on it, but I think when you're referring to a belt-type transmission, you're referring to a CVT-type transmission, is I believe what you're referring to. And CVTs have not been out that long. Nissan was the first to really get in the market with the Murano was really the first one to get out there and have CVTs. And they are a challenge, and they tend to last. It seems like they go 100,000 miles. And then they're no good, and they're not very rebuildable. So that's one of the things in our industry that hasn't caught up yet is when these things fail, where do we get the new parts to rebuild them? They're not that complicated. And so the symptom you have isn't necessarily related to the transmission. I get so many people in my shop, and they say, well, when you first give it gas, it seems like it's hesitating or slipping. It's got nothing to do with the transmission at all. It could be a spark plug bad, giving you a little lug or a little hesitation when you first give it gas. So don't jump to the conclusion, hey, I have a bad transmission. But you should know the details as far as the warranty. The Nissan Altimas, there's been horrible problems with the CVT transmissions failing. But I tell you what, you take it right back to the Nissan dealership, and they're happy to give you another transmission because they know there's been kind of a high failure rate. So there could be some help there, too. So.
But for Amber, we've got a Tri-City transmission. You can find them at bumpertobumperradio.com. That's something, Dave, where you can go in and maybe just take a test drive. Call up and see if there's time.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to take it around the block with you, see if there's anything going in regard to your transmission. And most of the time I take those little courtesy test drives. It's got nothing to do with the transmission. I'm able to give some people some peace of mind, and they can move on.
Yeah, and you've got to be careful sometimes, whether it's a transmission or anything you're steering. I have sometimes some places, if you go in thinking you have a transmission problem, you're going to have a transmission.
Yeah, sell you one whether you need one or not.
Right, exactly. So, Amber, if you have any questions, you can find Tri-City Transmission at bumpertobumperradio.com. And, Dave, who's next? What do you think?
We're going to go with Frank in Phoenix, and it looks like a 2000 GMC 1500. Go ahead, Frank. You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yes, my question is more related with the drivetrain and the differential in the rear end.
Okay.
I was hauling a light-duty trailer, and I ended up having to have my differential heated up and had to get the whole thing changed out, the gear in there. And I went to the shop, and they just can't get it right. I still have vibration. They went back probably about 5 times to fix it, and I'm just frustrated with the shop because I'm afraid to take it back now. Because after this much time, I would think they would be able to fix it.
Right, and
So,
the main thing you're dealing with is vibration. Are you dealing with any noise or anything like that?
yes, I am hearing noise when I slow down. It was noisy when I'm going down. When I first had the truck fixed, but they seem to fix that. But when I come to a slowdown, you can just hear like a vibration sound. You can hear it.
That doesn't sound very good.
Well, I think he says he's been back 5 times. To me, the shop, I think, has had ample opportunity to solve the problem. One thing that I always encourage people to do, if you're having repetitive problems, every time you take that car back, you ask for a receipt from them. Whether you paid or not, you need something to memorialize the event. Keep that recorded, and at minimum, keep your own journal. But short of that, Dave, I think it needs to get somewhere where they can figure that out.
Yeah.
We've got to find what the problem is first.
Properly diagnose it. Very rarely will a differential cause vibration. It'll cause vibration if you have a bent flange on an axle. You can get some wobble or vibration out of it. But it's not very common. When I think of vibration, I think of driveline. The driveline angle, the universal joints. I think a tire's out of balance, the type of things that'll give you a vibration, or if something's grounded out, like a transmission mount is broken, engine mount being broken, that can all cause vibration. You can even have a bad fan clutch cause a vibration in your car.
But is that whining noise, though? I mean, if you can influence that whine by accelerating or deceleration, that might be an indication there's still something in the differential. So
definitely starts pointing to the differential. If you're on the gas and it's making one noise and you let off the gas and the noise goes away, or vice versa. Maybe you're on the gas and there's no noise and you let off the gas and the noise comes in. That's because in a differential on a ring and pinion gear that you had changed out, there's a coast side and there's a drive side. And they're hard to set up. If you haven't done it before, you got to take some time to do it.
Yeah, and I think, unfortunately, Frank, it sounds like you're probably going to have to go spend some money to get it fixed and then go backwards and try and recuperate. And there's a process through the BBB that might be able to help you with that if you can't get results from the company. So.
And there's a lot of shops at bumpertobumperradio.com that are capable of that repair. We've got Arizona Drive Shaft, which is in basically the Mesa area. They do a ton of differential repair. Tri-City Transmission, we do differential repair. Also, Automotive Diagnostics in Chandler does differential repair. So any of those shops can help get this thing fixed so you can enjoy your truck again. And it looks like Jack has a body-related question on a 1986 Porsche 944. Go ahead, Jack. You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I appreciate what you guys do. I have this car that I've kind of restored mechanically, and now I want to restore it cosmetically. It's going to be a car that I want to keep for many years, and it needs paint. I just need to know what I need to, when I go around looking to get somebody to get this done, I need to know what I want to ask for. Like, what level do they need to do as far as they need to completely strip it down, or what kind of things, what kind of questions should I be asking?
The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure any shop that does the restoration, paint job work on it, is going to detrim the entire car. You do not want anybody to paint any part of the vehicle, leaving a side marker light on it, even the bumpers on it. You want all that trim to come off the car, because that's the only way to prep and paint the car the proper way so it'll last. And to repaint the car completely is going to cost you a little bit of money. You want to make sure it's done right the first time. You want to make sure it's going to last. So also make sure that they offer a lifetime warranty and that body shop's been around for a long time, because likelihood is they're still going to be here 10 years down the road. God forbid you have a problem. So.
Well, John, one of the things you were talking about earlier is there's all kinds of variation in the quality of paint job. Let's say I have a 1986 K5 Blazer or something. You know what? I don't care if you paint it with a roller. I just wanted to make it look a little better. So you got to be clear on your expectations, Jack, when you go looking to get this thing painted, because there's a lot of different ways to do it. And I think he wants a car done right. You got to make sure you're working with a shop that is very particular.
Well, do you want it to look good from 20 feet away, 50 feet away, or 2 feet away. There's a big difference. I mean, you want to sometimes pull the glass out, get all the emblems off.
That's what I say about detrimming the car.
Right, yeah. So that's stripping it down. And I mean, you can run the full gamut. I mean, there's that guy named Earl for $99, and there's the stuff we're going to see at the Barrett-Jackson.
Does Earl work at Virginia Auto?
No.
Okay.
And I imagine we'll be somewhere in the middle there. A nice job, and
I would ask what brand of paint they use. We use BASF for an application like that. We would probably use the Glazeret brand.
That's German. You got German on German, right?
And that's probably what the car was painted with originally. So
Are you guys ever recommend color changes?
Color changes are fine. They're just very costly because then it's even more in-depth as far as what has to come off the car because you have to paint every square inch that has the previous color on it.
Door jambs.
Yes, door jambs and
firewall.
Absolutely, everything underneath the hood. Color changes are fine. They're just very, very labor intense, whether it be for us or for someone else to do it the proper way. So, staying with the original color, that's the original. You got a Porsche. It was painted what it was painted, and it's probably going to look gorgeous if it gets repainted that same color.
And the way we paint cars, what John said about detrimming cars, and there's other great shops that do the same quality of work. By the time you detrim that car and do all the work that we do just to prep the car, if you want a color change, go for it. You might as well.
And Jack, feel free to give these guys a call. Find their phone number at New Image Paint and Body. They've got a website. Just Google it. Give them a call, and they can get you some more detail, more than what we can do here on the over the air.
And of course, there's bumpertobumperradio.com. You'll find them right there. We are going to go with John in Mesa. It looks like he's got a 2009 Subaru Impreza. Go ahead, John. You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi, guys. Good morning. Thanks for taking my call and for what you do.
You bet.
So I've got a question to kind of close a loop on a car, this car we've purchased. The car was recently purchased, and it was totaled out of state and came back in state, and it did not have a salvage restore title. And, we had it checked out, and the repairs were real, mechanically sound, and the body work was done in a good fashion. A few nuts and bolts missing, but not something that I can't do myself. But my question is that are there different laws between states regarding totaled vehicles and salvage restore titles?
I imagine the answer's got to be yes, but I think, did the car happen to have a Texas title?
It did not. No,
Okay.
It was a straight up title.
Okay, because I've heard of Texas as a state where it's easy. They call it title washing. You go change it a couple times, and magically the history disappears. But I don't know of any law that you have to disclose anything. It's just as is buyer, right?
Every state is a little bit different with what they require. Some states, any car that gets salvaged cannot be rebuilt for resale. Other ones, they're fine to be rebuilt as long as they're done correctly, and they have to go through an inspection process. Just like here in Arizona, that the vehicle has to be inspected after it's been repaired so that it can be licensed again, titled and licensed again.
Well, the one thing that you guys got when you're looking at buying a salvage title, I'm not a big fan of going and buying a salvage title. That insurance company, they already bought that car once. They're not going to buy it twice. So when the car if there's ever a total in the future, your dollar that you're going to get for it is going to be a lot less because they're going to say the thing's already been bought once. We bought it off the road. Here it's back on the road.
Well, and they may not even insure you in the first place. That could be an issue when shopping.
But the thing is that pretty much if you have a restored salvage title, or depending upon the state, if you follow their procedure, you can get insurance. You just can't get full coverage insurance normally. The other thing is that I'm having a brain fart.
That's
oh
okay.
My gosh!
Matt did that earlier. I think it's on that side of the room, though. That's for
I
sure.
just didn't say it.
Salvage. The other thing I was going to say are salvage title cars.
Senior moment.
You're gonna you're gonna buy the car for a lot less than you would on the retail end. So
That's true.
You're not going to pay $40,000 for the car. You're going to pay $20,000.
And there are good examples of salvage cars that are worth, if you have a teenager that's getting it ready to drive and it's a safe car, but maybe it insurance value predicated that car was totaled or the customer pushed to have it totaled, it may be a perfectly good car after it's repaired properly.
Well, and the other thing, too, is I look at the value of the car. Some cars, if you've got a car that costs $10,000 new, maybe $15,000, that's an exaggeration, and a couple airbag goes off, they may total it for relatively little damage.
Correct.
It's still a perfectly good car.
Correct.
And they're just say the cost of repairs and the value of the car, and they're going to get it off the market, but that was a pretty darn good car. So that's one thing to consider. I just don't like when someone saws a Suburban in half and takes this half a Suburban and that half a Suburban and they put it together and they make one good car out of it. I'm just thinking, I mean, remember the hollow motor mount bolts, on your Chevrolet, so when you got in a car accident, front end collision, the motor would drop out of it. That was a safety feature to protect you. And as the guy that's doing kind of because if he's going to fix this thing and put it back on and make a profit, which the insurance company couldn't do, maybe he's going to cut some corners to get the car back on the road. That's just my thought as far as salvage cars.
Yeah, there can be good ones and there's bad ones. And my neighbor called me about a car that had an accident the other day, and I'm following in your footsteps. I'm following in your footsteps. I'm following in your footsteps. But these cars, some of these accidents on cars, they look a lot worse than they are. These cars are designed to fall apart. Anything that can come off of that car in an accident is taking energy away from your body. That's not going into the accident. But Mike and Cameron, we're going to get you after the show. Dave and I will talk to you.